So this is part 2 of a 2-part series on breathing, and the exercises we're going to be doing now are the practical application of what we've learnt about the carbon dioxide and oxygen balance. Actually, in my experience, most breathing methods are either too aggressive or too complex, such that people eventually stop doing them because there's so much to measure and test and that sort of thing. Now, all those things that you're measuring are all well and good, but they're mainly for the teacher's benefit, not for your own experience. So I take it that better breathing is really like learning to ride a bike. We just have to get the feel of it ourselves. No one can tell us exactly how to do it such that we're successful before we start, but by getting the feel of it, we then have that skill. And similarly, we never forget. So rule number 1 is easy. Only breathe through your nose. So from now on, breathing only through our nose will limit the amount of air we're breathing in, which is the name of the game. So ideally, we'll be breathing gently, easily, only through our nose, and allowing the oxygen to be absorbed and converted into carbon dioxide before being breathed out again. So that's the first thing. Your mouth is for eating and speaking and kissing and singing, but not breathing. The Native American Indians would watch their babies sleeping and make sure that their lips were closed, so that even from a young age they learnt to breathe only through the nose, and particularly when we sleep. We'll get to that later. The second thing is that we're not going to do anything that would stop our breathing. Call it a pause, call it holding your breath, whatever. Because in my experience, that causes the body to go into a panic, like it's not sure where its next breath is coming from. And even though that sounds silly consciously, on a subconscious level, our body has to know that it's got ample air supply. And by interrupting that natural rhythm, we can create anxiety in the body. So no pausing, no holding. We're just going to keep it very gentle. So if this was a normal breath, in and out, then for our gentle breathing, we're just going to be breathing in a little bit less. And when we breathe out a little more slowly. And we're not going to breathe totally out. You breathe in, you go a bit slower, and not quite to the full amount. Now, it's important that we keep this distance here just very slight. If you can imagine breathing in like 98, 99%. Nothing less than that, because again, that will trigger the body's alarm to breathe more, as in it just creates anxiety and stress, and this is how we got into the problem in the first place. By breathing just fractionally less on our in-breath and breathing out just slowly, then we're allowing our carbon dioxide levels to increase. Same again, just fractionally longer, and when we breathe out, just not all the way. Because what you'll find, this isn't the ends, by the way, this is just the means. The end point that we're looking for is actually this feeling in our body, everyone feels it differently, of wanting to breathe more. Now, that's actually the sensation of carbon dioxide accumulating in our body. Now, this is exactly what we need, but because we've been in the habit of breathing too much for so long, then it can be quite an unusual sensation of having so much carbon dioxide in our body. This gentle breathing will always be relative to the normal breath, or your current breathing. So once we've established this gentle breathing as opposed to our normal full breaths, we're going to maintain that state of breathing for about 10 minutes because the science is suggesting that the oxygen receptors in our brain actually take about 10 minutes to reset, where our body habitually breathes at a certain rate. But then if you maintain the gentle breathing for 10 minutes, the gentle breathing becomes the new norm. Does that make sense? Yep. Everyone with me? Tell me yes. So if you're going to be in a position for 10 minutes, you probably want to start out either sitting or lying, such that you're totally relaxed and comfortable and can be totally focused on your breathing. Then, after weeks or months even, you can experiment with maybe doing it standing. And eventually you'll be able to get to the point where you can actually do it walking around. Because it takes 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes out of your day. And this is the other thing, you want to do it several times per day. 5, 6, anywhere up to 10 times a day if you can afford the time. Eventually it will become how you breathe all the time. But starting out, we just need time to dedicate to be focused on our breathing. So, sitting or lying, to start with, maintain this gentle rate of breathing for about 10 minutes and then do it several times per day. More the better. So the question is, can we do it too much? Well, it's interesting. Oxygen is in abundance. We have more than enough oxygen available to us in the air we breathe, but the air only contains about 0.3% carbon dioxide. So we're not breathing much carbon dioxide in, and our lungs actually like about 6.5% oxygen. 6.5% carbon dioxide. Yeah, you're right. So carbon dioxide is the rarity. We need as much carbon dioxide retained in our body as we possibly can. So theoretically, it would be impossible because of the availability of oxygen and the short supply of carbon dioxide. Yep. Okay. Good question. One thing to remember, don't do it after meal times because digestion's happening. So you want to pick 5 or 6 times throughout the day away from meal times where you can just be totally focused. Now, this is all preliminary. The gold, or the key to this whole exercise is the sensations that arise after having done the gentle breathing for some time. Like I said, it's different for everyone. It can be this feeling of a pressure in your rib cage. It can be a feeling of heaviness in your chest. It could be maybe even a lightheadedness. Some people get tingling in their fingers and toes. It really varies. Whatever it is for you, that sensation is the gold. That's what you're looking for. Because within that sensation, your body's accumulating carbon dioxide and your body's slowly getting used to having more carbon dioxide around. So that's the goal, this sensation in our body of withholding carbon dioxide. Now, instinctively or reflexively, your body is going to want to take a big breath and reset to where it was before. That is the thing you want to avoid, because we're trying to gently raise our tolerance for carbon dioxide. By maintaining the gentle breathing for 10 minutes at a time, that's allowing the set point to reset. And then, of course, the next time you take time out to do the gentle breathing, then you'll be at a different set point in terms of your carbon dioxide tolerance. And again, you'll stretch it from there. So you'll be looking to get this very slight sensation every time you do the breathing. Having said that, this sensation must be kept slight. This is why we call it gentle breathing, because anything that is too intense, if that sensation gets too strong, then our body will eventually gasp for air. That's why there's a rule of thumb, just 1 or 2% less and longer than the previous breath. A couple of practical things to watch. Whenever our head comes in contact with water, we reflexively breathe through our mouth. So particularly in the shower, resist the urge to open your mouth and take a big gulp of air. Also, to maintain the breathing through your nose overnight, most people find it useful to actually tape their mouth shut. Yeah, I know. So to start off with, just a narrow piece of tape, paper tape, medical paper tape is fine. I like the Leukopork brand because that's less sticky than some of the others and peels off easily the next morning. So to start with, just a short piece like this, just from your top lip to your bottom lip. Just like so. So as you can see, I can still breathe through the outsides of my lips if I need to, but it just cues your brain to breathe through your nose and keep your lips closed. Yeah. Now, for the first couple of nights, you might wake up with, the tape in your hair or your head stuck to the pillow or something. That's fine. After a couple of nights, you'll be used to it. Your body accommodates to these things really quickly, especially when it feels so good. You just wake up feeling refreshed, and it's just really nice. And then after a while, you can actually graduate to a wider piece of tape like this, and firmly secure your whole mouth. Just like that. And of course, I can't sugarcoat this right. And again, the Leukopork tape peels off quite easy. The other good thing about taping your mouth at night is for dental hygiene. Prevents your teeth from drying out, and apparently that's very good for stopping the spread of bacteria inside your mouth, so keeping it moist. Now, your jaw is still relaxed. It's only your lips that are closed. You still want your jaw to be able to relax, yeah. Before we give this a go, there's one more thing. Quite often you'll meet people who can't breathe through their nose is blocked. So this is how you get around that. You have them breathe in, hold, and then very gently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. So just gently bump your head on your hand.